If you want your relationship to last, it isn't about fireworks. It's about the embers you tend when nobody's watching. Pause. The tiny, ordinary choices you make on a Tuesday. The tone you choose when you're tired. The way you reach for a hand instead of a phone. The small things are not background. They are the architecture. Grand gestures are the theater of love. Daily habits are the structure that keeps the roof from leaking when the storms come. We imagine forever as a montage. Candlelit dinners, anniversaries marked with glittering plans, vacations framed in golden light. Those are beautiful, necessary sparkles, but the foundation of a lasting relationship is built from simpler materials: consistent communication, mutual respect, empathy, quality time, shared growth, honesty, graceful conflict, living romance, laughter, and the decision, made over and over, not to take each other for granted. Beat. This is not a checklist. It is a way of showing up, a rhythm that turns two people into one team. Let's begin where most couples lose their way. Communication. We often mistake talking for connecting. We think if we're exchanging words, we're doing the work. But communication isn't the volume of your voice. It's the safety of your presence. It isn't telling everything that crosses your mind. It's telling what needs to be heard in a way your partner can receive. Real communication is a two-handed practice. One hand speaks, the other hand listens. Picture this. You come home drained, a dozen thoughts buzzing. Your partner asks, "How was your day?" You can swipe left on that moment and say, "Fine," tossing a period into the room like a doorstop. Or you can slow down and say, "I'm overwhelmed. I need 10 minutes to shower and breathe. Then I want to tell you what's on my mind." Soft. One answer shuts the door. The other invites closeness and sets an expectation that reduces anxiety. That small clarity can turn an ordinary evening into a connecting one. Listening is not waiting for your turn to speak. It is the discipline of hearing the heart behind the words. When your partner says, "You never have time for me," it might mean, "I'm afraid I'm slipping down your list." When they say, "Why didn't you text?" it might mean, "My nervous system can't relax when I don't know if we're okay." Respond to the need, not just the sentence. Instead of, "That's not true," try, "I can hear that you felt low on my list today. Let me fix that tonight, and let's plan for this week." Pause. No debate, just repair. If you want a practical tool, use the 2 windows ritual. Morning. 2 minutes each to say, "Here's what I'm facing today. Here's one way you can support me." Evening. 5 minutes each to reflect. "Here's what mattered. Here's where I felt close to you. Here's where I felt far." Timers on, phones away, no cross-examination, only witnessing. It costs 7 to 14 minutes. It pays in peace. Now, mutual respect. Respect is not a posture you assume when others are looking. It is the air quality of your relationship, clean or toxic, and you feel it in your lungs. Respect means honoring your partner as a whole person, their time, their boundaries, their scars, their dreams, their way of processing the world. It's not agreement, it's dignity. You can disagree with a decision and still speak like you are addressing someone you treasure. The difference between "That's a dumb idea" and "I'm worried about the risks, can we walk through them together?" can be the difference between planting fear and planting teamwork. There's a danger in public disrespect, a joke at their expense, an eye roll in front of friends, a story told without consent. It may seem small, but it writes a footnote in their mind. "I am not safe in your spotlight. Choose this instead." If someone drags your partner in conversation, become their defense attorney on retainer. Protect their name like it belongs to you, because in love it does. And if you misstep, apologize publicly where the wound happened, not just privately where it feels convenient. Let's talk empathy. Empathy is courage in the shape of curiosity. It is the attempt to feel with, not judge from. You don't have to agree with your partner's conclusion to acknowledge the weight they're carrying. Try this simple bridge in conflict. From where you stand, it makes sense you feel because das. Fill it sincerely. Then add, "From where I stand, I feel because das." Now you have 2 maps on the table. Exploration beats accusation. Empathy doesn't weaken truth. It softens it enough to be held. A story. Maya and Jaden, 3 years in, started fighting about dishes, time, money, everything and nothing. Jaden thought Maya was nitpicking. Maya thought Jaden was avoiding. In counseling, they learned a language they'd never been taught. Primary emotions. Under Maya's nagging was fear of being unimportant. Under Jaden's avoidance was shame about not meeting expectations. Once they could name those roots, the houseplants of blame began to brown. They built a ritual. When conflict sparked, they each named the soft thing underneath the sharp one. I'm not angry. I'm scared I don't matter. I'm not lazy. I'm ashamed I'm failing. Arguments shrank. Intimacy grew. Empathy didn't erase problems. It gave them a safer table to sit at. Quality time isn't a calendar event. It is a posture. The world will always offer a reason to postpone connection. That's why couples who last don't wait for perfect. They schedule possible. You don't need Bali. You need attention. Maybe it's a walk after dinner where you ask each other better questions than, "How was your day?" Try these instead. What made you smile today? Where did you feel alone? What are you excited about this week? And how can I help? Curiosity is affection with a question mark. Create micro rituals that tether you. The inside joke you revisit in the grocery aisle, the playlist you build together, the 10-second hug when you reunite. Full body, full breath, enough for your nervous systems to sync. Research calls it co-regulation. We call it coming home. And when life is hectic, protect an hour like a sacred flame. Put it on the calendar, us hour. No multitasking, no doom scrolling, just attention, the rarest gift. Now supporting each other's growth. The longest relationships are not museums, they are gardens. Everything living changes. If you demand your partner freeze at the version you first fell in love with, you don't love them. You love a memory. Be a co-architect of each other's expansion. Ask, what are you building this year? What scares you? Where do you want me beside you? And where do you want me behind you, pushing? And when they stretch, brag about them like it's your job, because it is. A picture. Aisha wants to switch careers. Kareem, her partner, feels threatened. Not because he's small, but because change is scary. He could say, it's not practical, and bury her spark under his anxiety. Or he could say, let's map it. What would the next 90 days look like? What skills? What budget? What support? The second response turns fear into a team project. They might go slower, they might pivot, but Aisha will never have to choose between growth and us. And that is how love earns loyalty. None of this survives without trust and honesty. Trust is not only the absence of betrayal, it is the presence of transparency. Privacy says, I am a person with my own interior. Secrecy says, I hide what would harm us if you found out. One is healthy, the other is a slow leak that rots the floorboards. If your partner asks a hard question, let your answer be the easiest thing in the room. If you mess up, confess quickly. A delayed truth is a double wound, the act and the erosion of credibility. Try a practice called open windows. Share the parts of your life that cast shadows. Finances, old connections, the places where you're tempted to minimize. Not because you owe a daily audit, but because you want no part of yourself to grow mold. Here's what I'm worried about. Here's what I used to hide in past relationships. Here's where I will ask for help before it becomes a problem. Honesty isn't just a fire alarm, it's the sprinkler system that keeps small sparks from becoming tragedies. Now, conflict handled with grace. You will fight. Good couples fight well. Set ground rules while you're calm, not mid-storm. No name-calling, no yelling over, no threats of leaving, no using vulnerabilities as weapons, no history books slammed onto today's table. If you break a rule, call a timeout, not to abandon but to regulate. Say, I want to do this right. Give me 15 minutes to cool down, and I promise I'll come back. The promise is as important as the pause. Keep it. Use the two chairs technique. Sit facing each other. One speaks for 2 minutes, the other mirrors. What I'm hearing is, not mockingly, faithfully. Then ask, is there more? You do this until the speaker says, yes, that's it. Then switch. It feels clinical at first. Then it becomes oxygen. The point is not to be right, it is to be understood. Understanding is the soil where compromise grows. You can't avoid all ruptures, but you can master repair. The anatomy of a real apology is simple and hard. 1. Name the action without excuses. 2. Validate the impact without minimizing. 3. State what you'll change. Behavioral, not poetic. 4. Invite feedback on what would help your partner feel safer next time. Then do the unglamorous work of consistency until the nervous system believes what the mouth said. Romance. Let's rescue it from the myth that it lives only in grand gestures. Romance is attention disguised as delight. It's the sticky note on a lunch bag, the thrift store book with a highlighted line that sounds like her. It's noticing how their shoulders sit lower when you put on their favorite playlist while you cook. It's sending a text that says, "I walked past the place we first met. I still choose you." We think romance is a fireworks show. Often, it's a pilot light, small, steady, always ready to ignite warmth. If the spark feels dim, don't panic. Sparks fade. Pilot lights can be relit. Try a curiosity date. Instead of dinner, bring 3 questions, each you've never asked. What did love look like in your childhood home? What version of yourself are you most proud of lately? What have you been carrying that I haven't noticed? Go somewhere new, so the environment tells your brains we're not sleepwalking, we're exploring. And please, laugh. Laughter is intelligence having fun, and love needs that. Humor metabolizes tension. It reminds your bodies you are allies, not opponents. Build inside jokes like secret handshakes. Make a ritual of sending each other the most ridiculous meme before bed. Replay the time you both forgot the tickets and had to charm your way in. The couples who survive aren't always the ones who avoided pain. They are the ones who remembered joy in the middle of it. Finally, let's talk about the quiet killer, taking each other for granted. Comfort is beautiful, but it can turn into blindness. Don't let familiarity anesthetize gratitude. Practice catching each other doing something right. Say it out loud. "I noticed how you handled that call. You were so gracious. Thanks for taking the car in. I felt cared for." Appreciation reconnects the dots between effort and meaning. It says, "I don't just benefit from you, I see you." Here's a habit. 3 bright spots each week. Sunday evening, you each name 3 things you appreciated about the other. Specific, small, sincere. Write them down. Watch how your eyes start looking for good to report and how your home's emotional climate warms a few degrees at a time. Underneath all of this is a decision that sounds simple and feels profound. I choose you, daily. Not just the highlight reel you, the Monday morning you, the exhausted you, the growing you, the you who changes your mind and needs room to learn. Lasting love is not the absence of difficulty. It is the presence of dedication. It is choosing the relationship when it would be easier to choose your pride. It is pausing before the sharp retort and reaching for the gentler truth. It is waking up and asking, what is one thing I can do today to make us stronger by 1 degree? Let me tell you a story about Sophia and Luca. 5 years in, they hit a plateau. No betrayals, no explosions, just emotional drift. They loved each other, but the house felt like a transit station. 2 lives refueling, none intertwining. One night, they decided to build a ritual instead of waiting for a rescue. They started the 444, 4-minute morning check-in, needs plus intention. 4-minute greeting, hug after work, no talking, just breathing together. 4-minute night reflection, 1 gratitude, 1 repair, 1 hope. That's 12 minutes. In 2 weeks, the house felt different. Not louder, warmer. In 2 months, they were initiating affection again. In 6, they felt in love in a way that wasn't nostalgic. It was current. Another picture. Noah and Priya fought about money, every month like clockwork. They thought the problem was math. It was trust. Noah feared scarcity. Priya feared secrecy. They started a money date. Snacks, playlists, spreadsheet open, shame closed. They each named what money meant to them growing up. They created a buffer account labeled Peace, funded $10 at a time. The number wasn't the point. The habit was. The fights didn't vanish. The fear did. They became a team facing a problem, not 2 problems facing each other. And what about the moments when you're not your best? When stress wraps your tongue in sandpaper and your patience is measured in seconds? Slow. In those moments, leadership looks like slowing down. Say, I'm flooding. I don't want to hurt you. Give me 15 to regulate and I'll come back. Then actually return. You will teach your partner's body to trust your pause as much as your presence. If you have wounded your partner, know this. Repair is not a speech, it's a sequence. 1. Stop the harm completely. 2. Tell the whole truth. 3. Choose radical transparency for a season. 4. Submit to accountability that isn't self-policed. 5. Serve their healing even when it inconveniences you. 6. Sustain these changes long after the crisis glow fades. Your partner's nervous system is not a courtroom. It is a lab. It needs repeated evidence to learn a new conclusion. I am safe with you again. If you are the one hurting, if your needs have been minimized, if your boundaries have been treated like suggestions, remember, love without safety is not love. It's longing wearing compromise like a costume. You deserve a relationship where your no is not a negotiation and your yes is not a surrender. Speak up. Name your needs without apology. Ask for repairs with specifics. And if change does not come, protect your heart. Healthy love is a two-person lift. Let's make this practical. 10 humble, high-yield habits that fertilize forever. Greet and release. First minute together, eyes touch, presence. Last minute before you part. Gratitude and a plan for reconnection. Name your state. I'm at 30% today. It gives your partner a map and invites kindness. Ask before advice. Do you want comfort or solutions? Respect the answer. Weekly check-in. Logistics, love, and dreams. Keep it structured so it doesn't turn into a complaint buffet. Celebrate tiny wins. Toast on a Tuesday when someone took a brave step. The brain remembers. Protect play. 10 minutes of silliness can save 10 hours of seriousness later. Repair quickly. Don't let a paper cut become a scar. A fast, sincere apology is worth gold. Guard the perimeter. Close doors to old entanglements that keep doubt alive. Loyalty is proactive. Invest in learning. Books, workshops, counseling. Education is romance in coveralls. Keep choosing. Say it out loud. I choose you today. The heart needs to hear it as much as the mind knows it. Pause. None of this is dramatic, that's the point. Forever isn't built by climaxes, it's built by continuity. And yes, keep the romance alive by remembering that appreciation is a love language with receipts. Tell your partner what you admire, not just what you enjoy. Admiration says, I see your character, not only your charm. Send a message midday, thinking about how you handled that conversation last night, with grace and clarity. I'm proud to be yours. That's not fluff. That's fuel. Let me speak to the pride in all of us. Pride whispers, you shouldn't have to explain yourself. They should just know. Pride is wrong. Healthy love isn't mind reading. It's clear requests. I feel loved when you is not neediness. It's navigation. Give your partner a map to your heart and ask for theirs. You are not weak for needing. You are human for naming. Sometimes the most romantic sentence in the world is, I was wrong. It closes distances that flowers can't. It slows the spin. It tells your partner, your experience matters more to me than my ego. Say it when it's true. Don't dilute it with a but. Then ask, what would help now? And listen like the answer is the last train home. If your relationship feels stuck, try a reset week. No heavy talks for 7 days, only kindness, curiosity, and structured check-ins. Each day, one small act of service, one specific compliment, one intentional touch that lingers long enough for both of you to exhale. At the end of the week, revisit the hard conversation with new chemistry in the air. You don't fix everything in 7 days. You remember why it's worth fixing at all. I want to leave you for now with an image. 2 people standing shoulder to shoulder, not because life is easy, but because they learned the craft of staying. Their relationship isn't quieter because nothing happens. It's quieter because they are calmer. They are fluent in repair. They are generous with laughter. They treat each other's names like heirlooms. They don't measure love in fireworks. They measure it in embers they keep alive. So when you wake up tomorrow, don't ask, how do we make this epic? Ask, how do we make this steady? Speak like you're building, act like you're planting, listen like you're learning, and love, not as a performance, but as a practice, until practice becomes instinct. You're right to check. The script you gave about the small daily things that keep love alive still needed its seamless conclusion. Here's the final part that continues directly from where part one ended and wraps the message with a strong, cinematic close. And love, not as a performance, but as a practice, until practice becomes instinct. That's how ordinary days become a lifetime. Now let's turn these truths into something your hearts can feel and your hands can do without losing the poetry of it. Promises into practices. A promise is a headline. A practice is the article. Say less, show more. Daily, one honest check-in, one specific appreciation, one intentional touch that lingers long enough for both nervous systems to exhale. Weekly, 1 hour of undistracted time, phones out of reach, eyes in, one logistics sync, one tiny plan for fun. Monthly, one state of us conversation. What's working, what needs care, what we want to build next. The 60-second repair. When tension sparks, slow pause, breathe, name your state, validate their feeling, own your part, offer a next step, try. I'm tense and I don't want to hurt you. I hear that you felt alone when I didn't reply. I should have messaged. I'll fix it now and set a reminder so it doesn't repeat. Beat, repair fast, even if the full conversation comes later. The 2 maps rule. In every disagreement, there are 2 maps on the table. Yours and theirs. Curiosity is the bridge. Ask, what does this mean to you? What are you afraid might happen if we don't solve it? What would feeling good look like right now? Answer the questions you ask. Let both maps influence the route. Windows and doors, trust practically. Gentle privacy has doors. Secrecy has locks. Choose windows on purpose. Share plans before you're asked. Put recurring check-ins on calendars that both can see. Let hard topics live in light. If you've broken trust, add more windows for a season. Transparency that quiets the what-ifs before they grow teeth. Quality time in busy seasons. You don't need a weekend getaway to feel close. You need presence. Make meals a ritual. One cooks, one DJs. Both pause to name a rose and thorn of the day. Walk the block together after dinner. 10 minutes of steps, 10 minutes of truth. Car time becomes question time. What are you looking forward to? Where do you feel behind? How can I be a better teammate this week? Romance without the spotlight. Romance is attention disguised as delight. Leave a note in their shoe. Text a line from the first song you danced to. Put a favorite snack in their bag with a sticky note. For the 3 p.m. slump, I've got you. Soft smile. Tiny sparks keep the pilot light ready for warmth. The laughter bank. Every inside joke is a deposit. Tell the story you've told 100 times and laugh like it's the first. Record each other doing something silly and save it for the days when the sky feels low. Humor metabolizes tension. Joy is glue. When old patterns knock. If you feel yourself reaching for the sharp word that always lands like a stone, stop on the threshold. Ask, does this bring us closer? If no, set it down. If the emotion is too loud for words, speak with your body. Shoulders relaxed, hands open, voice low. Slow. Our bodies can apologize before our mouths do. The apology that heals I'm sorry isn't a password. It's a path. Name the action plainly. Validate the impact without debate. Specify the change you will make. Invite what would help them feel safer next time. Then repeat the new pattern until their nervous system believes it. Gratitude that sticks. Don't let comfort become blindness. Practice catching each other doing something right and say it out loud. Specific beats grand. I noticed how kind you were to the waiter. Thanks for handling that bill. It eased my mind. Appreciation reconnects effort to meaning. People blossom where they are seen. A 30-day gentle reset, woven into life, not stacked on top of it. Week 1, calm. Sleep on time together twice. Walk together twice. 1 10-second hug daily. Week 2, clear. 1 finances chat with snacks. 1 calendar sync. 1 what I need more of, less of conversation. Kind, concrete. Week 3, close. 2 device-free meals. 1 curiosity date with 3 new questions each. Week 4, celebrate. List 5 small wins you created as a team. Choose 1 ritual to keep, warm. The point isn't perfection, it's direction you both can feel. Boundaries and belonging. A healthy no protects a beautiful yes. Boundaries are not distance, they are clarity. Honor them like guardrails on a mountain road. Limits that let you enjoy the view because you feel safe. Support is a verb. When your partner dreams, be their co-architect. Sketch, budget, calendar, cheer. When they stumble, be their spotter. I'm here, let's try again. Beat teammates, not competitors. When you're the one hurting, naming a need is not a burden, it's a bridge. I need reassurance around 6 p.m. when you're working late. I need you to slow down your tone when you're angry. Specificity gives love something to do. When you're the one who hurt, the path is narrow and noble. End the harm, tell the whole truth, choose radical transparency, accept accountability, serve their healing even when inconvenient, sustain the change long after the crisis is over. Your apology is not the finish line, it's the starting gun. I want you to imagine the two of you years from now, older, wiser, a few laugh lines etched by joy and a few soft lines etched by weather. People ask, "What's your secret?" You smile because there wasn't one. There were habits. There was the way you greeted each other at the door, the way you fixed small cracks before they widened, the way you chose tenderness when pride demanded a show, the way you never stopped learning each other's language, even after you could speak it in your sleep. If you want love to last, don't chase the spectacular. Tend the ordinary until it becomes sacred. Speak like you're building. Listen like you're learning. Act like you're planting. Put your hands on the small things every day and watch them carry the weight of a lifetime. It's not about grand gestures. It's about the daily embers you protect together. Communication that tells the truth kindly. Respect that's felt when nobody's watching. Empathy that chooses to understand before it argues. Time that is given, not leftover. Trust that lives in daylight. Conflict handled with grace. Romance that pays attention. Laughter that remembers joy. Gratitude that never gets tired of saying, "I see you." And the decision, again and again, not to take each other for granted. Choose each other today, then do it again tomorrow. That's how love stays.